So this one's just a quick little video about an approach that I was thinking about the other day. That if you're not already doing, might be worth implementing. So I'm just going to describe it. And it is a holistic approach to your whole life and your problems. Basically, if you let yourself observe you and your life and its problems and events and its challenges from a holistic or a semi-holistic point of view, you'll start to gather that everything is a lot less of a big deal than you tend to worry about or make it, right? And it obviously makes perfect sense because, of course, if you look at your life from a distance, from a far away time point, you start to realize, like, from a week's time, a problem that happened within 1 hour is not as big a deal. Same as in a month's time, a problem that, lasted over an entire week is less of a deal. Same with years and multiple years as well. But, I'd argue that this is a bit excessive to pull it out to the complete other side because it's a bit extreme sometimes and it can make a lot more insignificant than it needs to be, right? Like even significant things become insignificant if you take it too far. So a better approach is to view your life in some lower and more effective chunks, for example, of time. So I was thinking of 5, 10, and 20 years segments as being quite useful because 5 is pretty good for big combined goals, things that you're working on at the moment, like that you can actually count towards right now. 10 fits in once you have a whole understanding of 5 and lets you keep a lot more possibilities in mind as well as, potentials for changing your course or whatever. And 20, a lot more blurry, a lot harder to, picture what life will be like in 20 years. But it's helpful for determining the general direction, as well as 10 and 20 are kind of helpful for when a massive problem occurs or some big, event happens. Even doesn't have to be that big. Those help you overcome concerning over it, worrying over it, and, tearing yourself apart over it, right? So zooming out and using these helps you quicker overcome the burden of worrying about daily and monthly and weekly setbacks and problems. And it's also extremely useful for staying overall consistent because obviously, even if you fall off of something and stop being consistent, let's say for like a month, you completely fall off of going to the gym for a month, right? As long as you keep going after that month of fall off, even if it's 2 or 3 months, on a 5-year scale, 3 months aren't really going to make a massive difference. I mean, they will still count, but it's not as big of a deal towards your overall consistency over a longer period of time, right? So it also helps with consistency and it makes you more likely to also achieve your goals if you look at them on a longer time scale, as I'm describing, because you're actually making them more realistic. Because if you try and convince yourself that you will achieve X, Y, and Z in an unrealistic time frame, the whole goal becomes unrealistic, obviously. So you're making your whole goals a lot more realistic just by doing that automatically. Like I said, it forces you to accept that things take a long time, and once you accept that, you're actually more likely to take the time to accomplish it, rather than, say, oh, I want this done by the end of the year, and then if you don't, you don't end up putting in the work, year passes and, you'll give up forever, for example, whatever, doesn't matter. So not only does it help you get over these pressures of, completing things sooner and faster, because you're accepting that things take more time, it also, helps you get over people and things that may make you think you need results sooner, right? So let's say people want to convince you to take steroids to get your physique to be bigger, or, let's say you're trying to build a social media thing, people convince you to bot your account so that you have a lot more followers or something. It helps you get over those cheats that you might want to try, even though they're not worth it. It helps you get over those because you understand, obviously, that it's going to take a while and you're going to just want it to take a while because you've understood it, and that's how it is, right? yeah, like I said, makes everything more likely to be accomplished, and definitely helps your life. Helps your life when you don't have to worry as much. I finished the script and I was just kind of expecting there to be more, but I guess it's gonna be a 5 minute video. So yeah, if you found this sort of video helpful, you know what to do, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.